From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story this evening, the president of Spectrum Alaska today outlined plans to build a liquid natural gas plant at Prudhoe Bay.
It would provide liquefied natural gas to use as fuel for such things as operation of drilling rigs, trucking, mining operations, power generation, and process heating. LNG can be delivered by truck anywhere. Diesel or fuel oil is currently delivered by truck. During the presentation, Spectrum President Raymond Latcham emphasized that Alaska suffers from some of the highest fuel prices in the world. Spectrum said they could fund the plant for a cost-effective price to the interior while also saving federal grant money.
In December or November, the legislature passed Senate Bill 23. It's over $300 million. A lot of it's in debt financing, cheap debt. It's allocated for distribution. It's allocated for an LNG plant in Prudhoe. And they also put in a grant where there's no return required. And that grant is the gift, so to speak, to the people of Fairbanks. Our concern is that the gift will be wasted on a monument to LNGology versus benefiting the people of Fairbanks.
Meanwhile, the team working on behalf of the state on the liquefied natural gas project was in town today to meet with local officials and give them an update. Gene Theriault of the Alaska Energy Authority said the state is in negotiations with some potential private partners to put together the business deal for the plant on the North Slope. He said the Energy Authority and the Alaska Industrial Development and Export Authority are working to get more refined information on the build-out of gas lines in the local community that would ultimately serve customers.
Well, I'm hoping that, certainly the elected officials in the community are very interested in this new resource becoming available. And we just want to reassure them that we're continuing to work on it on many fronts and looking at, turning over every single rock to make sure that we know anything that, and fully understand anything that could potentially be a problem.
A U.S. Interior Department spokeswoman says the agency is evaluating on a day-to-day basis whether to hold upcoming lease sales due to the partial government shutdown. The department's current focus is on sales scheduled in the lower 48 in October. One of those, scheduled for October 16th in New Mexico, has already been postponed. The day before the shutdown, the Bureau of Land Management announced a lease sale for November 6th in the National Petroleum Reserve, Alaska, that was to include over 400 tracts and cover about 4.5 million acres. It's not clear whether that sale will be affected. The shutdown began October 1st after the House and Senate failed to agree on a plan to continue funding government. That resulted in thousands of workers being put on furlough.
The State Labor Department is expecting an increase in the number of federal workers seeking unemployment due to the shutdown. Depending on how long it lasts and individual eligibility, the state would pay furloughed workers from the Unemployment Insurance Fund. The state would then bill the federal government for reimbursement. Officials say it's unclear whether workers who receive unemployment would have to repay it if they are retroactively paid for the time they were on furlough.
Many know it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but there's another life-threatening problem in our community. That's domestic violence. October is also Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and a new study reconfirms Alaska has a very large problem. The Violence Policy Center found Alaska as the second worst state in the country in its rate of women killed by men. The report shows for every 100,000 women, just over 2 were killed, compared with the national rate of 1.17. The executive director for Interior Alaska Center for Nonviolent Living says domestic violence is more than a family issue.
For us to remember as a community, this is a learned behavior. This is not just something that people do. They learn how to do this. It's not about anger. That's another misconception. It's not about substance abuse. While that makes it worse, that doesn't cause it. It's about someone's belief that it's okay to do this to another person. And as a community, we have to come together and tell them it's not okay to do it. Hold them responsible for it.
Well, when we come back, a new and state-of-the-art hangar has been completed on Fort Wainwright.
That's right. Also, we have your weekly military report. Those stories plus more coming up next.
Welcome back to the Fairbanks Evening News. Fort Wainwright will be celebrating the completion of a new state-of-the-art Hangar 5 tomorrow during a ribbon-cutting ceremony. The 6th Squadron 17th Cavalry Regiment will hold the ceremony at Hangar 5 at 10 a.m. Also included will be a change to the unit's alignment as they are becoming a part of the 2nd Infantry Division. The patch change is a symbol of the realignment and is part of Army tradition. The new hangar is over 136,000 square feet, which will be able to house 27 of the unit's Kiowa Warrior helicopters. The cost of the hangar was estimated at $67 million.
The intent with the hangars is to, one, support the troops and the mission, to provide a climate-controlled environment where the troops can perform their mission more efficiently. And these hangars are designed to reduce energy costs anywhere from 30 to 40% above current standards. We have energy management control systems inside these hangars that are comparable with probably anything you'd find in any of the lower 48 buildings. And some of our technology actually in Alaska and in these particular hangars would exceed what you might find in the lower 48.
Heavy snowfall has closed the Denali Highway. More than a foot of snow has fallen on the 135-mile road that connects Cantwell and Paxton on the Parks and Richardson highways, according to the Alaska Department of Transportation. The road is impassable. The state does not maintain the highway in the winter. Signs have been installed on the Cantwell side and travel is not advised.
Paratroopers and strikers from the 25th Infantry Division got together last month for a major training exercise in Anchorage. News Center 11's Monty Bowen has details in this week's military report.
Members of the Spartan Brigade and the Arctic Wolves Brigade conducted a joint emergency response training exercise at Joint Base Almendorf, Richardson, Alaska. The soldiers were not given the exact scenario they would have to deal with.
What we really did is test the readiness of all of United States Army Alaska. The situation continued to develop so that we were pinned down and needed heavy forces to be able to conduct a non-combatant evacuation operation.
They had to adapt as conditions changed.
We didn't expect definitely the amount of contact, not from the intel that we were told. Anyway, we have to be fluid, we have to change mission. If it goes from peaceful to trigger pulling, then so be it.
You don't really know what the right answer is, and you just kind of make a decision and you go off of that decision.
The Joint Force training is important so that when units deploy to the same area, they already have an idea of how to work together.
This was a great opportunity to test the interoperability between two different forces, the Airborne Brigade down here at J-Bear and the Stryker Brigade up at Fort Wainwright.
Monty Bowen, News Center 11.
The Military Report is brought to you by Stanley Nissan. Innovation for all.
Okay, Daryl. Well, this time of year, bull moose are in full rut, which can cause them to act aggressively.
That's right. So last weekend, a dog bred for herding livestock came into contact with an aggressive bull. News Center 11's Drew Marks was on the scene and recorded the action.
I looked out when I was turned around facing the boat, and there's a bull swimming across and it was coming right towards us. So I thought it was pretty cool, but you know, they're pretty dangerous this time of year, so we had the kids all stay together, and my dog decided that he wanted to go check out the moose, and it got a little too close. They wouldn't listen to us and come back, and that bull took off and charged it a few times, and getting a little bit worried for my dog.
No.
Winnie scared the moose, and the moose went back into the water, and then came back out, then it went back into the water, then it ran off into the woods after a few other things messing around with Winnie.
I thought about pulling my handgun. I had my handgun on my belt, giving it a warning shot, see if I could scare it away. It was acting really aggressively towards my dog, and my dog wouldn't leave it alone. Yeah, it's a little over 1 week after hunting, so you know, if we had run into that bad boy week and a half ago, we'd have been pretty lucky.
You know what? I don't know if that dog's name was Brave, but it should be. That was
very, very cool, and something to catch like that on video, just phenomenal. That was
brave dog, because I know I would not ever get that close to a moose.
That was fantastic.
Of that size.
All right, well, coming up in sports, the Ice Dogs are on a short week and have a game tomorrow, so Joe caught up with the team and got their thoughts on this week's series.
That's right. He also has high school volleyball highlights as the season enters a critical month for interior teams. Joe Cook cooking it up next in sports.
Hello, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here in the Sports Seat for you this evening with your Wednesday Hump Day Sports. We start tonight with the Ice Dogs, who regrouped with a 4-1 win on Saturday over Corpus Christi after losing their home opener this past Friday. The Ice Dogs face a short week as they gear up for a 3-game Midwest Division Series with the Coulee Region Chill. Game 1 is tomorrow at 7 p.m. in the Big Dipper. Friday and Saturday's games start at 7:30. The Chill come in at 5-3 and recently dropped 3-2 losses to Kenai. Coulee is 4th in the division. Richard Zenal leads the Chill with 7 points, including 4 goals. The Ice Dogs want to start quick against Coulee, and we'll see goalie Blake Cates, who is 3-3, saving 90% of his shots. Rookie Adam Carlson has done well with 2 wins and allowing 3 goals. The Ice Dogs offense has been free-flowing with the number of players contributing. Kyle Lee and Colton Walter are top 10 in the NAHL in assists in 10 games, and rookie Victor Lilligren is also top 10 in goals with 5. That leads the team. 8-2 in 10 games, and the chemistry seems to be there. There's a lot of hockey left, but this team likes what it's doing on both sides of the puck.
You know, it feels good to get points among all the players. You know, the lines we're gelling pretty well right now, and it feels good. And Sue's going to keep us like that for now until we stop clicking, I guess.
This early, I think you can improve in all aspects of the game. You never want to get comfortable or complacent. So I think as long as we keep improving every day and guys come out to practice with a purpose and then execute what we worked on all week, I think if guys keep working hard and striving to get better, you know, we can improve in all areas of the game.
Now for some high school volleyball. Last night there were 2 non-conference 3A, 4A games, but they were next-door games. Hutchinson went next door to play West Valley, but first Allison and North Pole. The Ravens went up the Rich and were looking for a win after coming off a solid performance against undefeated Monroe. Santa Claus himself was in the building taking a look at the action. Christmas is around the corner, you guys. Allison didn't give out any gifts, winning the first set 25-22 behind some timely playmaking of Skylar Miners, who finished with 4 blocks and 2 kills, but the Patriots rallied after that and took the next 3 sets 25-22. 25-6 and 26-24 for the win, leaving the Ravens with some coal. Senior Kayla Ching led the Patriots with 8 kills, and Kelly Musgraves was solid with her serving and added 12 digs. Allison drops to 2-5, and North Pole is now 3-4. On the west side of Fairbanks, the Wolfpack were up against the Hutchinson Hawks, who placed 3rd in the ACS tournament this past weekend, but the Wolfpack established themselves working some plays, some specialty attacks. West Valley did their thing from the service line too with 6 aces and only 1 error. Ruthie Hebert was efficient with a game-high 9 kills on 13 attempts. Hutchinson's Lena Heinrichs led the Hawks with 9 blocks, and Vanessa Hastings went 5 for 5 on kills. The Hawks were competitive in each set, but West Valley's defense was all over the place. Denali Hodgson had 18 digs on the back row as West Valley gets the sweep 25-21, 25-19, 25-17. Hutchinson is now 6-3, and West Valley improves to 4-2.
Playing against them helps them out in their 3A, and it helps us out in our 4A. So having strong competitive teams in our conference and in our town really helps to improve the overall play here.
Always the passing. If we can perfect that and get our passes to 85-90% to our setter, I think we'll be in really, really good shape.
The key is everybody's got to be ready, because on a well-hit ball, if we're going to get a touch, it's not going to be perfect, so someone else has to step in, and that's basically what I commended my team with, is a lot of girls stepped in as secondary setters when the setter had to play defense first.
It's hump day, so we end with the prize. The Pro Football Challenge winner, this week's winner, is Penny Shackley of Fairbanks, or Shackley of Fairbanks. Penny gets a oil change from Stanley Nissan. Penny got 13 of 14 picks right, including picking my 49ers to win. Penny got the points right as well. San Fran won 34-3. Penny is a Fairbanksan. The last 4 winners have been North Polars. Glenn Lee is the new points leader with 57. Gary Baudette trails by 1. AK Hawks is in the mix at 53 in 3rd place. Mike Schultz is now a point ahead of me somehow with 52 for 4th place. And Fred Brown, well, my Saturday partner, he has some work to do with 47. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. For more KTVF sports, just go to Twitter, YouTube, webster11.com, and also our mobile app. Stay cool, Alaska. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back into the Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again. Take a look at the weather, and boy, it was a miserable day across the interior today. We had wind, we had the cold temperatures, we had rain, and we might get some snow later on this evening, so that'll top things off. But things are looking better for the weekend. We'll tell you about that in a little bit. Here's our photograph for tonight. This is a Trainer Gate fox, a fox out there waiting for voles to cross the road, according to Tom Barron that sent that in. And again, if you have a photograph to share, by all means, send it to me at Mike Schultz at KTVF11.com. Well, here's our numbers out the airport right now. 37, it's dropped even cooler now, so the snow isn't too far away. 39 degrees for the high today, only 35 for the low last night. 67, 1911, 1 below 1928, sunrise and sunset, 10 hours and 16 minutes of daylight, a loss of 6.5 minutes from yesterday, and the winds are still gusting up to 21 miles per hour out the airport. Here's what's going on the satellite picture. It doesn't look all that impressive, but you can still see a lot of moisture moving around the Fairbanks area. Here comes our next storm. This won't be affecting us probably Friday, the way it looks right now. This area here, zoom in on the radar, show you we are looking at the Fairbanks area, and quite a bit of moisture is still hanging around, and that will give us an opportunity for more rain and snow shower activity throughout the night. What's going on across the rest of the state? Well, the rains are still continuing across southeast Alaska and over the southwest with that next storm system moving in. Across the interior, of course, we have rain. Cloudy skies up in the North Slope, Barrow 34 degrees and 37 at Fort Yukon. Lower 48 weather tonight. The rains have returned to the Pacific Northwest around the Seattle area with clear skies across the Central Plains and a little bit of shower activity around the Northeast on the satellite and radar tonight. You can see a little bit of energy moving across the Virginias and the Cape Hatteras area, bringing quite a bit of rainfall there. 2 to 4 inches of rain expected there. And another storm system moving across the Pacific Northwest, all being driven by the jet stream. As you can see here, coming right straight across from northern Canada, all the way out and then down and then across up and once again over the Northeast, bringing warmer temperatures over the eastern half of the country this weekend. All right, back to Alaska for tomorrow. For the northern section, snow showers at Barrow, rain in Nome, and cloudy skies at Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, we'll be looking at morning fog becoming cloudy in Fairbanks, Delta Junction, and Healy. While over southeast Alaska, the rains will be slowly diminishing at Juneau and Ketchikan. And over to the southwest, we'll be looking at periods of rain for Bethel and Kodiak and showery at Cold Bay. And over south central sections, it looks like areas of rain for Anchorage, Homer, and Valdez. All right, once again, time for our kids' weather. This week, talking with the kids from Weller Elementary School. Tonight, a young lady has a question for me.
Hi, my name is Francie from Mrs. Black's 5th grade class in Weller Elementary School. And this is my question for the weatherman. Where does the word weather come from?
And it comes before the year 900 from the English, and it was pronounced weather. That's how it kicked off. Now it's become weather. Again, thanks to the kids there. And tomorrow night, we'll be having a weather fact from the teacher. Now, here's your forecast for the remainder of the night. 28 degrees, breezy with rain and snow into the morning hours. No accumulation expected. Tomorrow, just mainly cloudy skies with morning fog and continued cool, 41 degrees. And the extended outlook, as you can see here, looking at temperatures right around the mid-40s and then cooling off again next Monday and Tuesday down to around 40 degrees. And the precipitation, again, no snow in the forecast. It'll all be rain because we will be above the freezing level, freezing temperatures that you get rain. Overnight lows will also be right around freezing too. So all in all, not bad.
We've been getting word in our ear that there is snow in Goldstream.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
It's a lower level elevation. So there is some snowfall definitely coming our direction. I looked on the radar, but it's like I said, it's not going to amount to a whole lot.
And it's
just
not
not
going
a
to
whole lot there.
And you know what else I have to tell you? That Trainer Gate fox, I have actually seen that same fox. He does. He hangs around the Trainer Gate area. Yeah. I don't know if he's waiting for food.
Or he's looking for those voles that are pulling those carts behind him. Yeah. Those are Volkswagens.
Oh.
All right, thank you for the weather report, Mike.
I love weather.
Yeah, I do too. That will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. As always, we are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, the next big financial crisis facing the economy. That's coming up next with Brian Williams.
As a reminder, you can always join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
Okay, from all of us here at the News Center, we hope you have a great night.
Good night.